Anyone who's been watching my stream, including all of you guys in chat, have been watching me ride around on a ground mount the entire time I've been leveling. And I've been telling you guys why I'm doing it. I've been like zoomed in, riding around on my ground mount, taking every zone in, taking all the quests in. It's because I'm finding it enjoyable. Shocker, I'm playing the game for what it is, a game, and I'm actually enjoying the new zones and the music and the experience and everything. Is it the most optimal way to play the game? Hell no, it's not. You can fly around from quest to quest and literally knock that shit out real quick. But for what the preseason is, there's no grind. There's no worry to finish out quickly. I'll be done by the time the season kicks off, so why not enjoy the game for being a game? Midnight players, I guess, are quitting flying. That's right, I'm not the only one. And shocker, Blizzard giving us the option to fly or ground mount has been a much more positive thing, because players who want to ground mount are going to ground mount and enjoy it for what it is and not be forced into that whole thing. So I think Blizzard done the right thing with giving us the options, and I think a lot of players are choosing the ground mount option. Let's see what this one's all about here from Bellular.
I thought I escaped the discourse of 2014, but it turns out I haven't. Here's the story. WoW has had some beautiful expansion zones, but I think Midnight is a step above. The art and the music are genuinely some of the best the game has ever had, and the game shows you immediately. After the intro, Blizzard drop you at the Sunwell and have you fly down to Silvermoon. You zoom past this gorgeous statue.
I actually rode on my ground mount here too.
Wows you. But not everyone has had that experience. Some people have actually had a much better experience, and that has led to somewhat of a movement emerge within the WoW community. Basically, the tide's turning a little bit. Some players are taking their enjoyment into their own hands, and for once I don't mean that they're going off and RPing. And it even includes Dakor, one of the guys on our team. And what all these people are doing is they're reliving the old glory days and truly enjoying the world that Blizzard have built. And to do that, they're limiting themselves. They're choosing not to fly.
It's a nice thing, honestly. Taking it all in for like the way it was meant to be seen. Right? Like every entrance into a new zone, there's like a cool transition point from zone to zone. And not to mention the fact that I rode around on a ground mount in all these zones back in BC, right? Because there was no open world flying, all this shit. So like even in Classic, I experienced these zones back in the day for what they were. So going back and experiencing the new version of these zones on a ground mount the same way I first experienced them, to me is nice. I get to take in the new shit. I get to see what Blizzard's done with the zones, which, by the way, I think Blizzard's done an amazing job, because this isn't just like a cataclysm, break everything and make it look unrecognizable. All these zones have been revamped in such a good way. I think Blizzard's done an amazing job revamping these zones, expanding them, you know, it's taking in all the lore into account too, and changing up some of the stuff that's happened there. I think Blizzard's done a great job, and I think the feedback they're getting has been really good about it, which means we're probably going to get more of this in other zones and Old Azeroth, which is an awesome thing. But I've just been enjoying taking it all in from the ground, as it was intended to be. And then the best part is after I do a bunch of quests and I've seen the zone for the most part, then I can start flying around and ducking and diving and being a little bit more efficient with my time. But I get the option, which is great.
Exploring all of Midnight on ground mounts. They're choosing the same limitations that many people love classic WoW for. And after hearing about it, and after watching some of what they've seen, I actually think they're kind of right to play this way. Obviously, it takes longer to level this way, and there's a lot of things to do in the preseason, but still, it works shockingly well. Do people actually like it? Well, the short answer is yes. This was originally punishment for Flame, but he ended up having what looks to us like a bit of an existential crisis over how much he enjoyed it. Taliesin said it's improved his enjoyment by 1,000%. Eric from our social media team highly recommends it. We're seeing it everywhere. You could say that the propaganda is extremely strong. But it's not just creators.
I had no idea all the other creators were doing this too. And I don't really call myself a creator. I'm more of just like a throw shit on the internet guy. But for the most part, I've told you guys this before Midnight even went live, that I was going to ground mount the entire time while I was leveling up. And it's been a great decision. I had no idea other people were doing this too.
The post has had at least a handful of people saying they're doing it the same way and actually loving it. And while some of the WoW community are over there leveling 25 of the same class, yes, that's actually happened. Here's the evidence. Up to max level for the Race to World First. Other people are taking their time and thoroughly enjoying this launch.
Yes.
I think Mr. GM maybe put this the strongest of all. He had such an eye-opening experience that he said he would not be against locking players out of flying. And if you've been where I've been,
I'm okay with them not doing this because I say like we're not children, so like if you just give players the option to play the game however they want, especially early in the expansion, just let people do whatever the hell they want. So if you don't really care about taking it in and you want to just be efficient with your time and fly around, maybe you don't have a lot of time to play the game, so you got to fly around to hit cap level before the season actually goes live. That's fine. I think this is the best thing right now is just give players the options and let them play the game how they want to play the game. I have the option to fly everywhere right now, but I'm ground mounting, and that's fine. And anybody else who decides to fly around, I don't think that's the wrong decision. It's just their decision. Let them play however. Yeah, I hope they don't lock it up again, because I feel like you're just forcing people to play the game a certain way. It's not necessary.
say, the trenches of 2014 and the Warlords of Draenor flying discourse, you might be thinking, oh my god, it's happening again, everything's in cycles. And yeah, it is. We have flying today because many of us fought for flying. It caused serious tension for years, and the history is that TBC added flying and it designed...
They shouldn't lock regular flying either and just fly instead of... You know why I think they locked regular flying? I don't think Blizzard would ever admit this, but I think they did it because of the bots. If I'm being honest, I feel like they did it because of the bots, because regular flying is very easy for a bot controller to control, and what ends up happening is you get these bots who fly around gathering herbs. Just they take these flight routes, and I think it's much harder for a bot to dragon ride around, because that's a much more, intricate system. You got to actually click shit and do shit, whereas the other is just a space bar up and down. It's very easy to do, and I think that's why they limited it, because they don't want these bots herbalizing and mining everything in the game and posting on the auction house and completely ruining the economies early in the game, because right now that shit really matters a lot. It'll break the economy if you get these bots running around doing that shit. I think that's why they did it. There's no confirmation of that. It's just me speculating. But I really believe that's what happened.
Endgame subzones around flying. Then Wrath of the Lich King let us fly before max level so that we could soar around the crazy mountains of the Storm Peaks. This was a bit of a hybrid model, but then it kind of changed, because from Mists through to Shadowlands, we had 5 expansions in a row of being fully grounded at launch. And this hit a fever pitch with Warlords of Draenor, where instead of unlocking flying at max level, they locked it behind the insanely grindy, at the time,
I don't think this was
achievement.
right. Just a mistake.
And they only did that 10 months after release. It took a while. People were not happy about being grounded for so long. Now, in fairness, the world was walkable, but after we'd seen it, we kind of just wanted the convenience.
Yeah.
And we got it, but we had to wait agonizing lengths of time.
Yeah, it's nice that I don't have to wait right now. After I see the zone, I am flying. The rest of the time that I'm questing, like once I saw all of the Amani troll lands, I started flying, right? I would fly up to the quest, drop down where I got to kill shit, then fly back to the quest giver. But the first time around, I took it all in from the ground, and I think it's nice to have that option.
So, the community fought and fought and fought until eventually we got what they asked for. Blizzard swung completely in the other direction with Dragonflight, and they swung so hard it ended up being one of the biggest selling points of that expansion. So, naturally, they built a massive vertical Dragon Isles around it. It's almost impossible to play the Dragonflight expansion without your flying mount. I mean, the only land bridge to Valdrakken is literally broken. You have to fly.
Makes sense.
These areas were designed for flying, and since then, we've all been flying. But now, a few years later, it's the 3rd expansion of Day 1 flying, and it seems some are getting tired of it, and rather fast. Getting tired of zooming from quest to quest before you're actually able to take it all in. People want to take their time, see the sights, and truly appreciate the world.
Yeah.
And if World of Warcraft is about its world, well, that certainly does make sense. You could almost say this is the WoW equivalent of putting your phone in your bag instead of your pocket. And if you look past the gameplay...
I told you guys, this is not a shot at Rested XP. It's a great program, I'm sure, for what it does, which is like help you level up optimally and efficiently. But I didn't take the offer from Rested XP because I didn't want to be rushed through leveling. I even like the part of exploring or trying to figure out like where I'm supposed to go for the quest. Oh, maybe it's around this corner. Oh, actually, it's in this cave with entrance right here. And then you go down into the cave. Like, I like that a lot more than just being like, oh, efficiently. Oh, I got to go here now. Okay, I'm supposed to go here. And you're not even listening to anything or doing anything. You're just like, you're literally a fucking bot basically flying around doing all the shit. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to figure it out on my own, explore it on my own. And this is why I like the preseason time. is because I think they give you more than enough time to literally do this level up very inefficiently and still hit cap before the season actually goes live.
In the talking head dialogue, the immersive classic experience
You're right,
you
I can't
wanted
find shit, you're
may
right.
actually still exist. So, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, oh, so you like playing the game, exactly.
While most of us flew into
Shocker.
Silvermoon, zooming past that statue straight to the next quest, some saw something different. Those who stayed in the ground saw this.
Yeah.
A group of elves held back by guards. Later, they got to see Windrunner Spire slowly creep up from behind the hill until
Yeah.
it dominated their view.
This is what I'm saying. Blizzard actually like creates terrain and trees and overlaps and stuff to like really give you like cinematic entrances into zones and big reveals like this that you're gonna miss completely if you're flying. Blizzard actually does a great job of designing this game to give you those cinematic moments that you'll totally miss out on if you're not on the ground.
The trees on either side frame it. The lighting, the music, both
Yeah, the
transition
music
at the
kicks in at the perfect time. It's
And
awesome.
everything about the area sells that. On the way up to the spire, you encounter this painter. He's painting the memories of ghosts, and what he has to say hammers home the tone of this region. Flying around Zalaman, you see the quest zone and the towers just fine, but you miss all the connecting tissue. You miss how this place is actually connected, how a troll would walk from one settlement to another. The whole zone is actually built full of rickety wooden bridges and uncertain pathing. You can't see the roads on the map until you've explored.
It's all very foggy.
So instead of
It's cool.
flying in a straight line, you stop, you check signs for directions to towns and villages. If you fall off one of those bridges, you'll have to find your way back up, just like in Stranglethorn Vale back in the day. Though with fewer rogues waiting at the bottom to cheap shot you. Then there's Harandar. If you're in the sky, Harandar is just another zone. It's pretty, but just another zone. On the ground, it becomes so much more. It's extremely vertical with winding paths and deep valleys. And then there's the Rift of Eln. It's a proper rift, with only one perilous path down, which makes it feel disconnected and eerie. On foot, the geography reinforces the story. Even though on a flying mount, you can still tell the den is a uterus. You're being real subtle there, Blizzard. But the
What? Really? What the hell? I didn't realize this. Yeah, it is.
You're being real subtle there,
Interesting.
Blizzard. But the real point is that doing that from the ground
We're the uterus of
different
Azeroth.
experientially. Dakor on our team realized that on the ground, he had to learn the zone to get around the place. And by flying, you miss NPC interactions. You miss sites that Blizzard's artists have carefully planned for you. You miss getting a feel for the zone. You end up rushing through it very quickly in a way that actually skips most of the hard work, or much of the hard work, that the Warcraft team has
Right.
made.
You miss all that and all for what? So you can grind out heroic dungeons and run your mythic zeros? What the fuck? Come on. Is that really that exciting for you? And to get gear that you're going to replace like in the first hour of the season opening? I just don't see the appeal. I don't see the rush. I don't see why you're running to grind out gear at the end game as fast as possible. There is no end game right now. You're held back by the preseason, so just level up slowly.
You can even argue that zooming around on a flying
up the
mount
right way.
means you get less value out of your purchase. And perhaps, if you're wondering why some zones and stories just don't hit as good as they used to back in the day, well, when you go around the zone, you drink in the ambience, and you navigate it in a way that means you actually have to learn it,
Right.
well, you spend time with all of your senses and a lot of different skills within that zone. And maybe that means that whenever things happen with characters, you're just more primed to enjoy the story. Blizzard, basically, are making an awful lot of game that most of us are just missing. None of this is an accident. Blizzard's artists still use the old playbook. They still rely on the classic wisdom within game development of how to make gorgeous vistas and tie a zone together.
Yeah.
Windrunner Spire's transition is clearly planned. But I want to take another example from Zalaman, because much later, the final quest in Zalaman has you talk to Zul'Jan on a broken bridge.
Yeah.
If you fly straight over to that bridge from the town, you land like this. Boom, there you go, talk to him. But on foot, this is what happens
Yes.
instead. You get time to notice that he is staring at a giant island.
Do you guys remember this exact moment when I was doing it on stream? There was that big moment of the reveal. I told you, as well as riding up the bridge, I told you guys, I was like, oh, look that's the mysterious island in the fog. Everyone keeps talking about this island. This could be the next big patch. And we were zooming in on the fog, and you could see the little snake temple over there. And I was like, oh man, that's that snake Loa that supposedly is like a really bad Loa that this guy's going to unleash on us to try to make the Amanis more powerful. And you get all that. As I was writing up, we're having that conversation. Rather than flying and just my view is shaped down, and I totally miss out on that big mountainous, foggy mountain reveal. It was such a cool moment, but that moment was only created because I rode in on my ground mount.
That island is called Tal Utek. It's almost certainly a patch zone that is full of dark Amani history. The Loa Altar Keeper calls it, quote, lands we no longer step foot upon.
Nice, bud.
That's some extreme foreshadowing for Zul'Jan's future. And it's easily missed if you fly there and zoom out. A way to think about this, rooted in other media, could almost be to talk about cinematography. If your camera is zooming around all over the place, it's very quick and very efficient, showing you all the things you need to see, it may end up feeling a bit artless than maybe where a camera is more locked down, more moody, more purposeful, more intentional. I'm not saying this is a one-to-one example, but I do think the point applies. And if you notice, say, those things with Zul'Jan, then your long flight path back to Silvermoon will let all of that sink in. How is Zul'Jan really feeling? Is he going to respect his sister after her journey, or will it bruise his ego and drive him to something desperate?
I think
and actually, that's something else. Flight paths. They're positioned perfectly to give you stunning aerial views of the world that you miss if you stay grounded. You'll even miss them if you're flying, but are just dashing from waypoint to waypoint as the crow flies. And that raises a point. Blizzard don't need flight paths anymore, because we can fly. But they still make flight paths. It's even in the smaller details. In Eversong, you can fly up to the floating parts of Fairbreeze Village, but you never have to. Everywhere has these translocation orbs that teleport you. Over in Harrendar, there are always ground paths out of zones. Maybe it's just good world building. Or maybe Midnight, at one point, didn't let you fly. Who knows? But either way, Midnight is richly crafted. It is full of detail that's extremely easy to miss. Everything points to Blizzard still making a world, then, that supports players running around and drinking it in. It's just up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
What should Blizzard do? Nothing. I don't think they should do much. This isn't like Hardcore. Hardcore was a popular add-on that Blizzard made into a real game mode on top of their existing game. Now, I've seen a bit of talk about a restriction, basically no flying during the campaign, or maybe no flying until you hit max level, but I don't think that's a great idea. That's because player choice is here. It's working, and the point of this video is not to convince you or tell you you have to do it, or that Blizzard should change anything. It's to make you aware of it, so that you can make your choice. I think that's probably the right way to go. I think Blizzard just needs to make sure that they build zones the way they are right now, because the zones allow people to choose. If you want to level fast, you can. If you want to drink it in, you can. And this experiment proves that the classic style slow and steady game exists. You just have to choose to play it. And honestly, I might do it on an alt myself. Watching other people do it, they're just playing a much more immersive version of WoW. They're clearly getting more out of every quest.
They are.
And with this expansion having so many side quests that are so good, maybe this is a way to enjoy WoW almost as if leveling didn't exist. Because of course, all the stuff will scale, and even if you hit max level, all those side quests will be filling up your renowns, which still is progress that's good for your character.
Yeah.
So maybe put the flying mount down and join the future of a well-paced, immersive WoW. Or don't. That's the beauty of it.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
To this realm.
But before you embark on that,
for the follow,
check out this video next. It's just a bunch of tips, tricks, and bits of knowledge that all of our team just kind of thought, really wish we knew that whenever we started leveling up properly. So, check out that video next, and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, nice video overall, and I've been saying this on stream for a while now. Like, seriously, take in the game, enjoy it on the ground. Take your time through the leveling. And the best part about all this is if you want to listen to me, listen to the Samiccus, you can do it. But if you don't, it's completely your option, really. You could decide to fly around and zoom around and do all this shit the most optimal way possible. I think the best part about what Blizzard's done here is they're giving players the choice. Give players the choice. Don't limit them either way. Let people play the game how they want to play the game. For me, it's been really fun doing it on the ground for sure. Nice video from Bellylar.